admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Why do step 5? Well, according to the AA Big Book, if you don't, you may never overcome your drinking problem or your addiction. Theodore Reich was a psychoanalyst who trained under Sigmund Freud, and he coined the term the compulsion to confess. He recognized that we all have secrets that are part of our lives and part of ourselves, but that we become afraid to share these things for fear of what someone might think. Really, what we all have is a great psychological need to be accepted, just as we are. But that can't happen for you if you don't at least let one person know exactly who you are. This really is the secret of confession, to find someone that you feel safe telling your dirty little secrets to, who has pledged to you that what you confess will never be revealed to anyone. The Catholic Church has known this concept for centuries, and it has also become an important part of the relationship between a patient and his therapist. It's been said that you are as sick as your secrets, so conversely, maybe you are as well as your thoroughness in confessing your secrets. Bringing your secrets out of the dark will be healing, and it will reduce the negative power that those secrets have had on your life. Remember that the power of things you are afraid to reveal is only strengthened through secrecy and deception. It's a little like getting a splinter under your skin. The longer you allow it to remain, the more pain it causes and the greater the chance of infection. It may cause temporary pain, but it's better to dig the splinter out now. In the book entitled The 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, it says, "So intense is our fear and reluctance to work this step that many AA members at first tried to bypass step 5. You may be looking for an easier way, telling yourself that there's no need to share these things with anyone. Not a soul will ever know, and you're going to take these things to your grave with you. Well, according to that same book, holding back on step 5 may be the primary cause of the inability to stay sober. Failure to clean house, trying to carry the secret burdens alone leads to fear, irritability, anxiety, remorse, and depression. And when you feel that way, you know your brain will be searching for some form of relief. James Pennebaker was a professor of psychology at Southern Methodist University in 1986. He studied the phenomenon of confession and catharsis through experiments with some of his psychology students. In his book, Opening Up, The Healing Power of Expressing Emotions, Pennebaker says that just venting your feelings fails to deliver in the long run. He says that for real catharsis to occur, your head and your heart must come together. Honest emotional expression and self-reflection must occur simultaneously. So, the formula for step 5 is that you must confess and admit these things to yourself, to God, and to someone who you trust, particularly someone who won't reveal your secrets to anyone else. Failure to do this, well, it sets you up for relapse. Why? Well, according to Pennebaker, when you're overwhelmed by stress, you become mired in what he called low-level thinking. You become the victim of punitive inner voices, primitive impulses, progressive emotions, and disturbing dreams, images, and memories. So, to achieve high-level thinking, he says you have to confront your problems with all the emotional and intellectual resources you can muster. A great place to start is by talking to someone who is a good listener. This is also why reflective journaling at night can be healing and helpful for you. Also, sincere, heartfelt prayer is another exercise in high-level thinking. So, confession is basically gaining a clear understanding of who and what you really are, followed by a sincere attempt to become what you can be. It can bring you out of the state of self-delusion and into clarity, realism, and honesty about yourself. But solitary self-appraisal, well, that's not going to work. It's only when you reveal yourself all your secrets, all the feelings, holding back nothing, and being willing to accept advice concerning these things, that your thinking begins to clear and honesty returns. Until you actually sit down and talk about what you have hidden for so long, your willingness to clean house is just theoretical. But when you get honest with another person, this confirms that you're being honest with yourself and with God. As the AA literature says, trying to go it alone in spiritual matters is dangerous. It's easy to delude yourself. So, will you take this step? How strong is your desire for sobriety? Are you willing to go to any reasonable lengths to get your addiction or your alcoholism into remission? Well, if you are, here's a game plan that I recommend. Make sure you have done a thorough fourth step. Maybe you'll have something out when writing your fourth step that you want to include now. And when you're satisfied with your written fourth step, holding back no secrets, select that special person that you can feel safe with to do your fifth step. As we've said, this is someone who has solemnly sworn never to reveal what you tell them to anyone else. Now, frequently, this is your 12-step program sponsor, but it could be another seasoned member of your 12-step group, or it could be your therapist, your physician, or even a minister or priest. When you have finished your fifth step, ask your chosen confidential listener to help you make a list of your character defects so that you will be ready for step 6. Don't put off doing this step, because the quicker you get it done, the sooner you'll begin to feel some sense of internal relief. And then, upon finishing your fifth step, I recommend that you and your confidant shred or even burn the written version. The AA Big Book then recommends that you return home and find a place where you can be quiet for an hour, reflect on what you've done, and try to make some conscious contact with your higher power. When you complete step 5, you'll begin to lose that sense of isolation and loneliness. You'll probably find that what you have done is no worse than what others in the program have done. So as you discover that sense of being understood and belonging, you'll also experience a sense of healing.